All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops, a great millstone. I'm your brother, Rabbi Nap, coming out with a lesson, Lord's will. This is edifying to the Lord's elect. I found this on X. It says, concerned citizen. Bill Gates' response to the fresh allegations made about him in the Jeffrey Epstein files released. These claims from a proven disgruntled liar are absolutely absurd and completely false. It was claimed that Bill Gates caught a sexually transmitted disease from Russian girls. Gates didn't seem to bothered by the accusations at the tennis today. Of course, he don't give a fuck. Anyways, I'm gonna
Dean claimed Bill Gates caught a sexually transmitted disease from sex with Russian girls and that he planned with the disgraced financier to secretly slip his wife antibiotics. Melinda and Bill Gates later divorced. The Epstein controversy mentioned as one of the reasons the marriage fell apart.
Is that who I thought it was?
If the allegations bothered Bill Gates at all, there was no sign of it at the Australian Open today.
He is actually a huge tennis fan.
Gates released a stinging response via statement. These claims from a proven disgruntled liar, he says, are absolutely absurd and completely false. Deep in the data dump, there are shocking new photos, including multiple pictures of Andrew Mountbatten.
Come on, man. I mean, look at this photo. Okay, you got the black box here. Does this girl look like, just through this, you could just see that she's probably unconscious. She's unconscious, man. And then you got some motherfucker back here in the back with his feet kicked up, knowing what's going on. And why are you over her like that? She doesn't look like she's of age, too. She looked like she's a lot smaller than him. This is a revealing picture here. And it's so revealing, they won't even show her face. I would believe that she's probably not even alive anymore. Because the other girl that wanted to testify against this devil right here, she disappeared. And she was full-blown ready to testify, ready to put her life on the line. She died. And he's supposed to be a royal Edomite. These people are not royal, okay? They're low level, they're peasants, they're servants. And the Lord's going to manifest that in the near future. The Lord's not dealing with these people. They got power, they got money, they got all of the accolades of the world. But when it comes to the Lord dealing with them, the Lord ain't dealing with them like that. He's dealing with his men, and he's showing that now. He's showing you who he's dealing with. You might not be able to see it now. You might be able to see it through the Spirit, but you ain't going to believe it till you see it with your own eyes. Scriptures talk about, my people shall be willing in the day of thy power. When they see the power of the Lord, then that's when they're going to believe.
Windsor on all fours, crouching over a woman, plus chilling new insight into Jeffrey Epstein's jail cell taken after his death.
This jail cell. How does he get all these orange? I don't get. That's a weird thing, man. It's hard to hang it up in a prison cell like this because there's nothing. You would have to hang your feet up and then your neck on this ladder over here. And then there's so much controversy around Epstein's death because the guards have to walk around every, 30 minutes or whatever they're, they always have to walk around. And being a high profile inmate, you would think they'd put him in a cell where they can monitor him, especially with him being such a high-profile case. This is why you can't really trust any of this bullshit. But, hey, maybe it is true. Maybe it isn't. Who knows? But at the end of the day, people are on a list. We know that Esau compromises people in order to put them into positions of power. In order to get that record deal, you're going to have to be compromised. Because he got so much shit going on. He don't want you to be privy to the information of what's really going on. You see all these people, and you think there's all these victims, but a lot of them are being silenced because He's the prince of the power of the air. He controls what you see. He controls the news and all of that. He got the most money. He can pay people off to shut you up. He can get you killed. So these things.
Death. Also, a damning email from Epstein to Andrew arranging an encounter with Epstein.
Anyways, that's Esau for you. You can't change this dude, man. He gonna remain to be that until it's time for him to be taken out of the power. Let me grab this and Google real quick. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. Psalms 110:3. It says, thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, in the beauties of holiness. From the womb of the morning, thou hast the dew of thy youth. Let's look this up. As a matter of fact, this is probably not I should probably look this up in chat. No, that's not what I'm looking for. It's a lot. I fucked up. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. This is talking about Israel becoming obedient when Yahweh the Lord manifests his power through Yahweh Shai. The day of thy power is the day of judgment and rulership when the truth is fully established. Right now, Israel is rebellious, but in that day they will be made willing, not forced change inwardly. I'm trying to get where it's coming from with that. But the people being willing, the willingness of them to obey the Lord is through the power of the Lord. So when they see the power of the Lord, it's going to be undeniable. It's from the Lord. And that's what's going to make you willing to serve him. That's going to make you willing to obey him. When you see the power of the Lord. Okay, so I don't know how this is talking about Israel becoming obedient. Not just Israel. Everybody's going to become obedient when they see the power. But yeah, Israel is going to become obedient when they see the power of the Lord. When Yahweh the Lord manifests his power through Yahweh Shai. Not just through Yahweh Shai, because he manifested his power through Yahweh Shai and they didn't believe. But in these last days, they're going to believe when they see it through his men that he's dealing with. The day of thy power is the day, judgment, and rulership when the truth is fully established. Isaiah 2:2-4, Revelation 11, verse 15. Now, Isaiah 2 goes into something. The day of thy power, that's talking about in the kingdom. In Isaiah 2, Revelation 11 and verse 15. I don't know what that goes into. Let me jump over there real quick and see what this is talking about. Revelation 11 verse 15, and the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his anointed, and he shall reign forever and ever. Yeah, when you see the Lord, of course, you're going to see Yahweh Shai. Yeah, of course you're going to be willing in that time to serve him. Because he's not coming in anything you're used to. He's coming in, he's not going to meet Esau as a man. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's not completely wrong. But the power, whoever the Lord endows his power to, you're going to be willing to serve at that time. You're going to believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Right now, Israel is rebellious, but in that day, they will be made willing, not forced, changed inwardly. new heart and a new spirit going into the new covenant. Yeah. Yep. But you know, we're gonna have power. Some men are gonna have to be doing things that, you know, it's just the Lord dealing with them. It's not even like you need a new body. It's like the Lord is gonna be giving you this power, okay? For whatever it may be. He might have you heal somebody. He might have you speak a different language that you're not accustomed to. It can come in the form of you just enduring ultimately, or it's some form of a miracle, you know, just as much as Esau is bringing forth all destruction, the Lord's also going to have men of the Lord performing miracles. Just like Esau's performing miracles and wondrous signs with his AI technology, and he's causing people to, you know, use tech in order to do things they couldn't do with their own bodies. You know, that's a miracle, but that's on the left-hand side, but he's going to be doing that on the right-hand side, where on the right-hand side, it's just going to be manifested that it's from the Lord. He's going to get all the glory. See, when it comes on the left-hand side, you can say, I did that, you know, and that's the difference. But when it comes on the right-hand side, the glory, all the glory comes from the Lord, because it's not some technology that you're using. It's just manifested out of nowhere, you know. So when people see that, they're gonna be willing to know that the things that it's gonna be changing your whole mindset. You know, imagine how the apostles felt about Yahushua turning water into wine, walking on water, healing people, seeing it with their own eyes. When you see the Spirit itself, of course you're gonna, but they didn't see that in order to follow him. You know, they're part of that number, you know, but it's still a miraculous thing to see it. Isaiah 54:13, all thy children shall be taught of the Lord. Romans 11:26, all Israel shall be saved. I don't get where chat's going with that, but all Israel shall be saved with an everlasting salvation, like it says in Isaiah 45:17. But according to the new covenant, we're not going to be teaching anymore. So we don't need to teach about the Lord. So these two precepts kind of contradict with themselves. Because when you read about the New Testament, they're not going to be teaching anybody anything. Let me prove that in Hebrews, the 8th chapter. This is why you got to learn it. You know, you got to read. Blessed is he that readeth. Hebrews 8:7. Excuse me. It says, for if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. So the first covenant was made on Mount Sinai with the nation of Israel, which consisted of animal sacrifice, okay, to atone for your sins. But the new covenant, you're going to have these laws, statutes, and commandments written in your inward parts. So meaning it's going to be inside you. It's not something you're going to have to practice anymore. It's going to be something that you're going to manifest without even thinking about it. It's just you're going to be perfect. You're going to walk in the law perfectly. Everything you do is according to the law, and there's nothing you could do to go outside of that. You're just constantly going to be just perfect. You know, like, I don't know how else to say. You're just going to be perfect. Okay, just how the Lord wanted you to be. Hebrews 8:8, for finding fault with them, he saith, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. So this new covenant is for two houses, the house of Israel and the house of Judah, which consists of the whole house of Jacob. Okay, because there was a split. That split is going to be mended. Okay, there's not going to be any more house of Israel, house of Judah. We're going to be the Israelites. Okay, it's just gonna be one house of David. It's gonna be all Israel. I can't say just the house of David, because 2/3 are gonna come through the loins of the elect, just like Job. Job's family that passed away, they came back through him. Okay. Hebrews 8 verse 9, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt. So he's referring to the time when we came out of the Exodus after the Red Sea on Mount Sinai through Moses. Okay, Leviticus 26 verse 46. He made a covenant with us, the nation of Israel, because they continue not in my covenant, meaning we broke the laws of God. That's the reason why he kicked us out of the land of Israel. That's why we're over here in America today. That's why we were in the innermost parts of Africa. That's why you were in the Caribbeans, in North America. Okay? And then he sent the heathen to come and destroy you because you didn't keep the covenant like you said you were going to do in Exodus, the 24th chapter. And I regarded them not, saith the Lord. He regarded you not because you angered him. Okay, so he kicked you out of the land. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people. So the house of Israel means both houses. Okay, we're going to be under, because when you learn about the history, the reason why it was split, they took the house of Israel as a name, but the Lord was still dealing with Jerusalem. You know, so yeah, you got the name, the Israel, but the Lord was in Jerusalem. And Amos was sent up to the northern kingdom to repent before the time of the Assyrians. And some people came back because we know, I forgot her name in Luke, I believe the 2nd chapter. But it shows you that there were people from the northern kingdom in Jerusalem during that time. So it wasn't just all Judah. Let me see, let me grab it. Luke 2 and like 40 something. Luke 2 and I think it's Anna, I think her name was. Yeah, Luke 2 verse 36. And there was one Anna, a prophetess, the daughter of Phanuel, of the tribe of Asher. She was of a great age and had lived with a husband 70 years from her virginity. So she was living in the southern kingdom, and she's from the tribe of Asher. The southern kingdom consisted of the Levites, the Benjamites, and the Judites. Okay, an Asherite would be considered of the southern kingdom, or northern kingdom, Salakia. Okay, so that new covenant that I'll make with the house of Israel applies to the southern kingdom also. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts. The heart and the mind are the same thing. And I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor. This is the point. Then there's no more teaching, no more being on the highways and hedges. You're going to know the law. We're teaching because you don't know the law. Okay, you don't know the name. You don't know anything. Okay, we're teaching to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. They don't know who they are. They're lost. And every man his brother, saying, know the Lord. Yeah, we know the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. For all shall know me from the least to the greatest. Okay, we're going to all know him from the least to the greatest, meaning we're going to be giving the law, statutes, and commandments written on the inward parts. We're not going to have to teach the name anymore because it's going to be inside everyone. The Israelites, first and foremost. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. So if they're not, he's not going to remember your iniquities anymore, which are your sins, you can't die anymore. The reason why we're in this position is because he remembers your iniquities. Okay, we needed a sacrifice. The sacrifice came. We're repenting, but we haven't been made perfected yet. In that he saith, a new covenant he hath made the first old. Now that which decayeth and waxeth old is ready to vanish away. So, when we get changed, we're not going to be operating under the old covenant anymore. We're going to be operating under the new covenant because we're going to be made perfected. All right. I forgot where I was going with this. These Edomites, they're just wicked. They got to go. Listen to this. It says, Sky News Australia. Do you think you're the devil himself? New video of chilling Epstein interview released. Let's see what it says.
New footage has emerged in the Jeffrey Epstein files showing the convicted pedophile being interviewed and asked whether he is the devil. It's unknown when the interview was actually filmed, but the material is one of thousands of videos released by the US Department of Justice. Paul Kelso reports.
Latest tranche of Epstein files from the Department of Justice contains around 3 million documents, thousands of still photographs and hundreds of hours of video recordings, and among them appear to be at least some of extended interviews between Epstein and Steve Bannon, a right-wing pundit in the United States, former strategist working at the White House in Donald Trump's first term. He's previously talked about conducting around 15 hours of interview with Epstein. They've not previously been aired in any extended form, but there's a couple of hours of what appears to be some of those videos in these latest releases, and we can play a couple of minutes of that now, in which Epstein discusses being a sex offender.
Is your money dirty money?
If you live,
I just asked a question. Is your money dirty money?
No, it's not. So, in fact,
Why is it not dirty money?
Because I earned it, a heart.
But you earned it.
I earned it.
We went back to this before. You earned
Yes.
it. You earned it, advising the worst people in the world, right, that do enormous bad things, and just to make more money.
So, instead of asking me the question, should you take the money? Because I think it's a legitimate question.
You think it's a legitimate question?
Yes, no
Why?
question. Because I think about, ethics is always a complicated subject, but I can tell you that with the money I gave to help try.
You hear this dude, man? Ethics is a just his spirit is just super off, man. It's not somebody you want around young people, young kids and shit like that. And he's exalted in this world. It tells you about the vilest men being exalted in the scriptures. Let's go there. Psalms, the 12th chapter. These people are very low. They shouldn't be in any form of power. Psalms 12:8, the wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted. For him to be in this position of power and affluence, to have Donald Duck and Donald Daffy Duck and who else? Who else? You got Jay-Z and Pusha T. It's because the vilest men are exalted. It's not somebody who should have lived to see his old age. He should have been stoned to death when he first committed his first crime. He should have been burnt alive, thrown into cast into a, let me grab that. These people fucking skinners. If you offend one of my little ones, it would be better for you that a great millstone be wrapped around your neck and you drown in the sea. Matthew 18:6. I don't even like this Bible verse. I like the Bible verse. I don't like that format. Matthew 18. I'll start at the top. Rank in the kingdom, it says. At the same time came the disciples unto Yahushua, saying, who was the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Yahushua called the little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them, and said, verily, which means truly, I say unto you, except ye be converted, and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Whosoever therefore shall, so you got to be converted, become as a little child. The children, children are impressive. You can still mold them. You can still teach them. They're more willing to hear when they're younger. You can teach them different languages. It's better to do that when they're younger than it is when they're older. So that's how you be converted. In order to be converted, you got to be more willing to hear. You have to be more willing to receive what's being taught to you. And unless you can do that, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. So you got to become like a child again when it comes to this truth. Matthew 18:4. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. So you got to humble yourself, because ultimately pride is what's separating you from the Lord. So being humble is what will bring you closer. Matthew 18:5. And whoso shall receive one such little child in my name receiveth me. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he would drown in the depth of the sea. So you don't want to offend a little one. This nigga Esau goes out of his way to offend little children. So it better that a great millstone be hung around his neck, and then you throw him into the sea.
With the money I gave to help try to eradicate polio in Pakistan and India,
And that's what they do. They commit all this wickedness, and then they try to do they try to balance it out with some form of good. But it's so wicked, the shit that they're doing, that they go way out their way to go help somebody on something as extreme as something like polio, to try to counter, their mindset. So justify the wickedness that they did. Just as wicked as they did something, they try to do the equal and opposite. So this shows you there's a balance too to this mess that's going on here in the world. As chaotic as it is, the Lord still has some form of a balance out here.
Instead of asking me whether that in Pakistan and India, instead of asking me whether that money should be given to these children for vaccines, I think you might want to ask their mothers who received the vaccine, who know their child now won't get polio, and ask them if Epstein should have helped these people with their money.
You see the mindset of these devils? The best thing would be if the law was implemented and you were dead somewhere deep in the Atlantic. And then we won't have to worry about polio, which this nigga's probably implementing, putting it on people so he can come with the solution so you can thank him for it. He likes to cause order out of chaos, or KO, whatever. That's how these devils operate. They'll create a situation where they can provide a solution and you can thank them for it, and then they feel good about themselves for all the wickedness. But then there's 1 million kids missing in America every single damn year.
You're a mathematician. You're a mathematician. We walked into that clinic where they're giving that money out to these people that are in the most dire straits of poverty and sickness, and told them that the money was coming from class 3 sexual predator?
Tier 1.
Tier 1's the highest and worst?
No, I'm the lowest. I'm the lowest.
You're the lowest. Okay, Tier 1, you're the lowest. But a criminal.
Yes.
That the money came from them. What percentage of people do you estimate? I understand you don't like probabilities. Do you estimate would say, I don't care, I want the money for my children?
A sex offender's a compliment for a person like this. He's worse than that. This nigga drinks blood, eats human meat. He's doing transhumanism. Okay, he was in far more things than they're portraying him to be. Okay, he was doing all the shit that the fucking Nazis were doing. The Nazis are those are some, when you really think about it, these people were very evil, man. Like beyond what they portrayed what they were. Because before that, they were doing all these type of they were implementing all this type of shit that this nigga was into.
I would say everyone said, I want the money for my children.
Did they know where the money came from?
I think if you told them, if I told them the devil
100%. Himself.
The devil himself said, I'm going to exchange some dollars for your child's life.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
It's a serious question.
Sorry.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
I don't know. Why would you say that?
He thought it was funny what he said. That shit. I have a good mirror. I don't even understand what he was saying, because their soul was estranged from the womb. He don't have any remorse. The Lord didn't give him that. They don't have any shame in what they do. Okay, so they try to, they still do some to try to save face, but they don't have any shame in what they do. They need to be judged. They need judgment. Esau is just running around here just doing whatever the hell he wants to do. And the people who follow these people, protect these people, they all need to be judged. You look at him, and then everyone that's on his list shows you, how this place is actually being run. He's not the worst of them all. It gets worse than that. He's just a face of something much evil and uglier than that. You can just put a face to the evil. That's his face. That's the face they want to put to the evil. It's him. But it's beyond his face. It's a whole system. It's Esau.
Himself said, I'm going to exchange some dollars for your
And then when you look at Daffy Duck, he's the same way. He talks like over you, like he's some smart person. This dude's a fool, man. He's on the same list as this dude. He was begging to go there on the island, Gypsy's Island, in 2013. You got all that money and you want to go to his island? Shouldn't you have your own shit? You're $500 million. These people got to go.
child's life.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
What the hell does that mean, you idiot?
It's a serious question.
Sorry.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
I don't know. Why would you say that?
Now, these latest files also contain fresh documents appearing to relate to Lord Mandelson, the former British ambassador to Washington, sacked by Sir Keir Starmer back in November, when a previous release of documents suggested he had not been straight about the extent of his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, these appear to show payments from Jeffrey Epstein's bank account to Lord Mandelson and his husband, totaling $75,000 over a 2-year period.
Of course, they block it off, going straight to the news site, and they can't even explain it to the fullest. You gotta go to a different news site. Let's see what this says. AP.
I think it shows, like, from the point of view of the palace, they had to do something.
Her arms position shows she's not in any, in my opinion, she's not conscious at all. These people are necromancers. Let's look at that word, necromancer. Define necromancer. A person who practices necromancy, a wizard, a magician. What is necromancy? A necromancer is a practitioner of magic, necromancy, who communicates with and manipulates the dead, often to gain knowledge about the future or to command spirits and reanimate corpses, typically seen as a form of dark magic or sorcery. While historically focused on divination, modern fantasy often expands their powers to include controlling undead creatures. making them powerful figures associated with life, death, and undeath. The forbidden practice of conjuring spirits of the dead for knowledge of or influence, viewed as detestable to God in a form of spiritism that opens practitioners to demonic deception, contrasting with the seeking God for guidance. Necromancer, sleeping with dead people. That's what it means. Necrophilia, also known as necrophilism, necrolagagnia, all of this is sexual attraction or acts involving corpses, including both direct intercourse with corpses and sexual excitement at the thought or presence of one. Doesn't that look like him? If she's laid out, just say theoretically, because I don't have all the proof, in a theoretical, hypothetical situation, if she was not here, whether she's drugged or whatever, look at his face. Does that look like someone, he looks like he's happy. Okay? So he's a weirdo, man. He's a weirdo.
Separate Andrew from the rest of the family, and the nuclear option was the clearest way of doing it. And, as more comes out, then,
What the hell are you smiling about? Like, who the hell is this dude, man?
You feel that they have been justified. In a sense, the royal family have been violent.
Well, her elbows up, so I don't know what that means, man. This is some scary, creepy shit, man. Some creepy shit, man. This is some fucking weirdo shit, man. This dude's supposed to be royalty. Like, get the hell out of here.
Andrew caught up in this. It's but it is a broader story.
And then he got to go speak to Congress about this. Just out of his mind, man.
Of how some of the super wealthy spend their downtime, and it's quite I think to ordinary people it's just extraordinary, weird and odd, and this hold that Jeffrey Epstein sent to have over very successful people in whatever domain they were. It's the whole story is very, very weird. The photo of him on all fours is what really strikes it. He's such an odd image, and
super odd. It's weird. It seems like she's not conscious, in my opinion, judging by this dude's character. He's disgusting. But then, why are you there in the first place? There's some accountability on their part, but who knows how the hell you get there? Especially when you learn about how they get little girls to go there.
His idea that he didn't have any idea of Jeffrey Epstein being able to bring women around or whatever, as that has been shot to pieces.
And then your president's with them. For some reason, he's not on the list. He is, but he isn't.
They're stunned to hear someone was arrested for housing unknown biological substances at a home in the Northeast Valley. You're watching 8 News Now here at 11 o'clock. I'm Sasha Loftus. The FBI and Metro Police raiding that home today near Washington and Hollywood. 8 News Now reporter Aaron Ariano joins us in studio tonight with the latest in this investigation. Aaron.
Sheriff Kevin McMahill says they'll be spending the next few days investigating the house in question very methodically. Neighbors we spoke with say they're still in shock.
The first thing that goes to our head is it's scary, right?
Andrew Wiggins says in his 7 years living near Sugar Springs Drive, he never thought he would see something like this.
We definitely didn't think it was any kind of biological or, that's serious. So it can affect not just one area, can affect us all quickly.
According to Sheriff Kevin McMahill, the FBI, Metro Police, hazmat teams, and other agencies raided this home just before 6 o'clock Saturday morning. McMahill says one person was arrested for alleged involvement with a biological lab inside the home.
Our teams went inside and found evidence of possible biological material, including refrigerators with vials containing unknown liquids.
It's not known what information led police up to this discovery, and the situation is complex, according to the sheriff.
There's a lot of questions that we have that need to be answered, a lot of work that is ahead of us that needs to be done. We have one suspect who I was informed that we were taking him into custody as we were walking in here. We're not prepared to release any information on that individual.
Wiggins says he's okay with the large law enforcement presence expected throughout the investigation over the next few days, as long as it means he and his family are safe.
I'm glad that the law is allowing them to do what they need to do and get people and things like this out of our community. Because us as citizens, you and everybody else included, we don't deserve to have people like this in our community.
The sheriff,
you know, imagine someone, you don't know what your neighbors are doing, but I wonder what a biolab is. What is a biolab? Biolab, biological laboratory. Look at this shit. Imagine your neighbors dressing up like this. Your fucking neighbors, man. A specialized facility equipped for scientific research on living organisms, microorganisms, and biological systems, probably like diseases and shit like that. These labs, ranging from, for example, NASA's aerobiology lab to shared biolabs, co-working spaces, are designed to study pathogens, analyze genetic materials, or develop, for example, biotechnology often featured strict safety measures. So they're trying to bypass a bunch of shit to create a biolab. That's a hazard, man. That's hazardous. Crazy. Let's look at this.
Maintenance workers in Brooklyn made a disturbing discovery on the job today when they opened a bag and found the dismembered body of a woman inside that bag. Police are trying to figure out who she was, how she died, and who stuffed her in the bag. Eyewitness News reporter Lucy Yang is in Williamsburg. Lucy.
Well, what a horrible discovery inside this building behind me. I'm in front of 330 Bushwick Avenue in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, where a routine building job turned up a dead body reportedly cut into pieces. We saw crime scene investigators remove evidence from the building just a few minutes ago, 9:30 this morning.
If they can cut you up and put you in a bag like this, these people have probably done it multiple times.
We're told workers in the lower level garbage area found a bag suspiciously heavy, so they opened it and looked inside, and to their horror, officials say they found a corpse cut into pieces. Police were called. Investigators believe the victim was a woman in her 50s or 60s. So many questions at this hour, so few answers.
Trying to steal organs and shit like that. You put you might be an organ donor, and then guess what? They got all your medical records, and guess what? They happen to need your fucking organ. All right? Now they're gonna go up and ask you nicely, excuse me, can you give us your heart? We need it because somebody's having heart failure, and you happen to fit that person. Oh, sure, yeah, here's my heart. No, they're gonna come kill your ass and find you in the Brooklyn basement somewhere.
The workers, they found it in her screaming. They realized the bags are too heavy, so they open it up. And the first thing they're seeing is the head staring at them. So she ain't gonna be the same anymore, these people who work in these buildings.
I'm like scared out of my mind. I don't know what's gonna go, like if it's gonna continue happening.
Oh, shit, man. I don't mean to laugh, but you're going to see more of that, man. You're going to see a lot of that. It's going to be a normal thing. The way the Lord's going to fuck this place up. Jacob's trouble, man. And it's going to be the heads and legs and limbs of a bunch of unbelievers.
Or like it's like a one-time incident? If it's going to continue happening, or like it's like a one-time incident?
Now this is the born queen.
It ain't gonna be a one-time incident. That's gonna continue to happen.
In public houses.
Scriptures talk about bodies being like dung in the street. Dung is shit. When you see shit on the ground, you pick it up and try to clean up the street. No, you leave it there. You keep it moving. That's what you're gonna do with these dead bodies. You're gonna go dig a hole and bury them. There's gonna be so many of them.
Residents believe the night workers were simply doing their jobs, taking care of the garbage when they made the gruesome discovery. The body has since been removed from this location. Earlier, detectives went floor by floor, door to door, looking for information. We're live in...
Yeah, I'm gonna give some information. Somebody got dismembered in my building. This is probably a fucking, what's his name? I can't think of his name. They made a show about him. I can't even think of it. But he was eating people and shit. Weirdo.
Brooklyn tonight. I'm Lucy Yang for Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Lucy Yang. But that's the Lord, man. At the end of the day, let me grab this in Isaiah 45:7. I'm going to end it here. Isaiah 45:7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So he's the one that's creating these situations. You can't die unless the Lord allows you to. So he ordained that to happen. Psalm 68:20. He that is our God is the God of salvation, and unto the Most High Yahweh, the Lord belong the issues from death. So he chooses if you're going to live or die. Tells you in Job, the 2nd chapter. Let's grab it. Job 2. And 6. And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life. And that's talking about Job. He is in thy hand, but save his life. He's the one who told Satan to save his life. Okay? It tells you in Job 2:5, but put forth thine hand now and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Lord told him, he is in thine hand, but save his life. You could do all that to him. Take away his family, do this, that, and the third, but save his life. Showing you he has power over life and death. And I'm going to end it there. Lord's will, this is edifying. Shalom.